Don't reach for that extra cup of coffee or another bottle of expensive supplements. When stress takes over, your mood dips, or sleep just won't come, because some of the most calming plants on earth might be growing right outside your door. Today, we're building a calm garden. If you think it takes a greenhouse, a big backyard, or years of patience, think again. One container and a sunny corner is all you need. In this video, I'll reveal 7 mood-boosting plants you can grow in a single pot, and every claim I make comes with the real research behind it, named on screen. No guesswork. And stay until the very end, because the final plant is the most studied stress herb in the world, and its name literally means the smell of a horse. One quick note before we dig in. This is for educational purposes only. These plants carry real potent compounds, so always check with your doctor or pharmacist first, especially if you take any medication. Now, do me a quick favor. Tell me down in the comments, what do you reach for when stress hits? I read every single one. Kicking off our calm garden at number 7 is the rose-scented geranium. Number 7, the rose-scented geranium. A tiny bottle of rose geranium essential oil runs $15 to $35 for just a few milliliters. Grow one plant and you get that same soft, rosy scent, fresh, anytime you want it. This isn't a strong medicine. It's a calming fragrance you can crush between your fingers. Because the roots like to breathe, use a small 2 to 3 gallon unglazed terracotta pot. Fill it with a fast-draining mix cut with perlite or grit. Give it 4 to 6 hours of sun, and water only when the top 2 inches feel dry. Start it from a cutting, not seed, and feed it lightly. And this is the one mistake that kills the magic. Feed this plant too much, and you'll grow a big, leafy bush. But the scent, the whole reason you grew it, just fades away. Keep the soil lean, and the feeding light, and the fragrance stays strong. About 8 to 10 weeks after it roots, start picking the leaves, fresh or dried. Steep a few into a soft floral tea. Stir them into sugar, or bake them into a simple cake. The pink flowers make a pretty garnish. As for the calm, the science here is honest. The compounds citronellol and geraniol may help you relax through pleasant smell alone. A few small studies on inhaling this oil reported lower anxiety and better sleep, though the evidence is still limited. One thing to watch: never swallow the essential oil, and keep this plant away from cats, dogs, and rabbits, because the oils are toxic to them. Now for the charming part, and that brings us to number 1, the most studied stress herb on this entire list, Ashwagandha. A bottle of Ashwagandha capsules sells for $10 to $25, and right now, it's everywhere. But you can grow this ancient stress fighter yourself in a single pot over one summer. Of all 7 plants, this is the one with the strongest science behind it. Because the root is what you harvest, give it a deep 5-gallon pot. The soil should be sandy, well-drained, and slightly alkaline, never rich and wet. It loves heat, so give it 6 or more hours of sun, somewhere warm, above 70 degrees. Water only when the soil dries. Feed it very little, and start from seed in late spring. But here's the betrayal. Pamper this plant with rich soil and heavy feeding, and you'll grow lush, beautiful leaves, and a thin, weak, useless root underneath. And the root is everything. Keep the soil lean and the nitrogen low, and the plant pours its energy into a thick, powerful root. After 5 to 6 months, once small berries appear and growth slows, lift the whole plant. Wash the roots, chop them, and dry them until they snap. Then, grind them into powder for capsules, or stir a spoonful into warm milk and honey before bed. And here's where ashwagandha earns its crown. This is one of the few plants on this list with real human trials. A 2021 review of 7 studies in nearly 500 adults found it may lower stress, anxiety, fatigue, and even cortisol, your main stress hormone. The benefit showed up around 5 to 600 milligrams a day. This is a powerful plant, so the cautions are serious. Avoid it if you're pregnant or have a thyroid, autoimmune, or liver condition. And check with your doctor if you take thyroid, diabetes, blood pressure, or sedative medication. And finally, the fact that says it all. The name Ashwagandha literally means the smell of a horse, because the root smells strong and earthy, like a stable. The calmest herb on this list is also the one that smells the wildest. This isn't a true geranium at all. Back in Victorian times, people grew these like living perfumes, and the rose-scented kind became famous because its leaves could fake the smell of pure rose oil. That one was all about scent. This next one, you actually eat. And most of us already love it. Number 6, the Meyer Lemon. A small Meyer lemon tree costs about $35 to $40, but it gives you fruit, flowers, and that bright citrus scent for years. And that fresh lemon smell can lift your mood just by being there. Because citrus roots crave steady moisture, start with a 5-gallon pot and move up to 15 as it grows. Put it on casters so you can roll it indoors when winter comes. Use an acidic citrus mix that drains fast and give it 6 to 8 hours of sun or a strong grow light. In summer, water often. In winter, ease off. But get the watering wrong, and this tree suffers. Citrus roots hate sitting wet. Water deeply until it runs out the bottom. Then wait until it dries before the next soak. Keep it constantly damp, and the roots quietly rot. You'll pick your first lemons about 2 years in from a good grafted tree. Use the zest, the juice, even the blossoms. Fresh zest goes straight into tea or a warm cake, and the dried peel keeps for months. The mood lift here is honest. It's the scent, not a cure. In fact, the strongest study on lemon aroma found the good feeling came from how pleasant the smell was, not from the lemon compound itself. So enjoy it for what it is, a bright, comforting scent. A quick word of caution: don't put cold-pressed lemon oil on your skin before sun. It can burn and keep citrus oils away from cats and birds. Here's the part that surprises people. The Meyer lemon isn't a pure lemon. It's a cross between a lemon and a mandarin, brought from China to America back in 1908. If these first 2 plants already showed you something you can use, take 1 second and subscribe. Every week, I show you how to turn a small space into a garden that feeds your body and calms your mind. No big yard, no experience needed. It's free. Let's keep going. What if the calm you're after is hiding in a smell you already love? Number 5, pineapple sage. Here's the strange thing. You'll almost never find this as a dried tea in stores. The only real way to get it is to grow it, and a starter plant runs $5 to $10. One plant gives you a whole season of sweet, pineapple-scented leaves. This one gets big, so give it a 5-gallon pot with strong drainage. Fill it with rich, humusy soil that holds moisture but never stays soggy. Give it 6 hours of sun with afternoon shade if your summers run hot. Feed lightly with compost monthly, and start from a nursery plant or cutting. But this sage breaks the usual rule. Most sages love to dry out. This one is the opposite. Let it wilt even a few times, and the leaves scorch and brown. Keep the soil steadily moist through the heat, and it stays lush and sweet. Snip leaves 6 to 8 weeks in, with red flowers by late summer. Use both the leaves and the flowers. Drop fresh leaves into iced tea or fruit salad, and scatter the red blossoms on top. They're edible and beautiful. As for the calm, it carries a long traditional history. In Mexican folk medicine, the leaves and flowers were brewed to ease anxiety and help sleep, and one animal study found calming effects in mice. There's no strong human proof yet, so treat it as a gentle, comforting cup. A quick caution: light tea is low risk, but go easy if you take sedatives, anxiety, or diabetes medication. And now, the delightful part. This plant is native to the mountains of Mexico and Guatemala, and those late red flowers turn your patio into a magnet for hummingbirds. That one works through scent. This next one works from deep underground. Number 4, Rhodiola, also called the golden root. A bottle of rhodiola extract runs $12 to $30 at the store. Grow your own, and you've got a living supply of one of the most respected anti-fatigue plants on Earth. This is the plant for a tired, stressful life. It may help your body push through exhaustion and stay steady under pressure. Rhodiola is happiest where summers stay cool, so give it a 5-gallon terracotta pot with razor-sharp drainage. Mix in plenty of gravel, sand, and a little lean soil. Full sun if your summers are mild, afternoon shade if they run hot. Keep it lightly moist, never wet, and feed it almost nothing. But pamper this one, and it rots. Rhodiola survives bare Arctic cliffs, but a soft, soggy pot will kill it. Treat it like a desert succulent. Water only when the pot feels light in your hands. Rich, damp soil rots the crown from the inside. The root is what you're after, and it takes a few patient years, but only grows stronger with time. Slice and dry the root, then use it as a tea, a tincture, or ground into powder. Here's what the science actually shows. Cedar seed and rosavins are studied for fighting fatigue and steadying the stress response. Early research points to help with tiredness and mild low moods. But bigger studies are still needed. So think support, not cure. One important caution: if you take antidepressants, blood thinners, or blood pressure medication, ask your doctor first. And don't drink it late. It can keep you awake. Now for the legend. Viking warriors are said to have eaten this very root before battle to fuel raw endurance and wipe away fear. Our next plant is the one herbalists reach for first when the subject is calm for women. Number 3, Clary sage. A bottle of Clary sage essential oil sells for $9 to $20, but a packet of seeds costs less and gives you fragrant flower spikes for 2 full years. For centuries, this has been the herb for easing tension and the rough edges of a monthly cycle. Clary sage wants it dry and lean, so plant it in a 5 to 7 gallon terracotta pot. The soil should be gritty and sandy, never rich and wet. Give it 6 to 8 hours of full sun. Water deeply, then let the top few inches dry. Feed it barely at all, and start it from seed in spring. But spoil this one with rich soil, and it betrays you. You'll get a tall, leafy bush and almost no flowers. And the flowers are the entire point. Keep the soil lean, and it rewards you with magnificent, fragrant spikes. One note on timing. Clary sage is a biennial, so the big flower harvest comes in year 2. Cut the flowering tops just as they open and dry them for a week or 2. Steep the dried flowers into an aromatic tea or tuck them into a sachet for your pillow. And this is where Clary sage stands apart from the gentler plants on this list. A blinded clinical trial in 2025 tested inhaled Clary sage on people with a chronic illness and found it measurably lowered their depression, anxiety, and stress in the short term. It was small and single center, but it's real, promising evidence, not just folklore. A serious word of caution: avoid it during pregnancy. Never swallow the essential oil. And be careful with sedatives, sleep or blood pressure medication, or alcohol. And here's the story behind the name. Clary comes from clear eye. Long ago, the plant's sticky seeds were used to flush specks of dust right out of someone's eye. You've almost certainly seen this next one on a pharmacy shelf, in a little bottle of brain pills. And that brings us to number 1, the tree this whole list has been building toward. The dwarf fig, the legendary Little Miss Figgy. Fresh figs are some of the most expensive fruit in any store, so delicate they bruise in a day, which is why most people only see them dried. Standard fig trees grow 30 feet tall, with invasive roots that crush concrete pipes. But this dwarf mutation hands you sweet, gourmet figs from a tiny patio pot. Here's the strange secret. Fig roots need to be cramped to fruit heavily, so you'll want a tight 5-gallon terracotta pot, which forces the tree to stop growing roots and start producing fruit. Fill it with a poor, heavy soil mixed with sand. Start it from a hardwood cutting and place it in the most blistering, sun-scorched corner you have. Feed it just a single handful of bone meal in spring. By late summer, the figs droop, soft and heavy, often leaking a drop of honey from the bottom. Now, here is the splitting trap. The roots want it dry, and so does the watering can. Overwater, as the figs are swelling, and they split wide open and rot on the branch. Let the soil dry out completely between deep soakings, and the fruit stays perfect. In the kitchen, wrap these warm figs in prosciutto and roast them for a luxury appetizer. And it's hardy to Zone 7, overwintering dormant in a cool garage or basement. Now, for the fascinating fact I promised you at the very beginning, confirmed by the University of California, a fig is not really a fruit with flowers on the outside. Its flowers grow entirely inside, sealed within the fruit itself. To pollinate them, a single tiny female wasp crawls in through a microscopic hole, lays her eggs, dies inside, and is completely dissolved by the ripening fig. So there they are, 7 dwarf fruit trees, each one thriving in a single container. Not one of them needs a big backyard. Not one of them needs years of waiting for a first harvest. Pomegranate, the desert jewel, tied to the ancient myth of winter itself. Blackberry, the thornless bush you harvest without losing a drop of blood. Blueberry, the all-American berry that fights for your memory. Bush cherry, the 4-foot tree that fruits all on its own. Mulberry, the berry no store can sell you, feeding silkworms for centuries. Nectarine, a peach and a nectarine, separated by a single gene, and the dwarf fig, with its flowers hidden inside, pollinated by one tiny wasp. These are the same fruits your grandparents grew, the ones you remember from childhood. And here's the best part. Some of them only fruit because winter does its job. A small balcony, the right pot. And for the cold-loving ones, a freezing winter working in your favor. That's the whole secret. And no, before you ask, these are not GMO. Every tree on this list is either a natural dwarf variety or grafted onto dwarfing rootstock, and you'll find them at any certified nursery or reputable online grower. So tell me, down in the comments, which of these 7 are you planting first? And which fascinating fact surprised you the most? I read every single one. And if this brought back the fruit you grew up with, share it with someone who still believes you need a big backyard to grow your own. They need to see this.